Good morning, gamers. Welcome into the Gamers Roast podcast. I'm your host, Joshua J. Alongside me, Wesley Lance.
Merry Christmas!
As you can tell, 'tis the season.
So much Christmas stuff.
December 2nd. We're already in December.
Yeah.
So,
it's already snowed a little bit, but the real marker for me is, are my hands bleeding because my skin gets so dry? And yes, they are. So it's Christmas time.
Dang.
Yeah, sorry. That got morbid real fast. My skin just gets real dry in the wintertime, and so that's how I know it's
His
officially
fingers
Christmas
fall
time.
off. He grows them back. It's like a gecko. Pretty
Do
cool.
geckos, is that... I know there's some lizard that grows its tail back. Is
Something
it geckos?
like I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Wow, we started out with dismemberment. This is going to be a great episode, ladies and gentlemen. We've been gone for 2 weeks, so...
Yeah. I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Had a Thanksgiving. Hopefully you had one. If you did, I hope it was great. I'm going to do some football stuff real quick, and then we'll do some coffee and hop into what our Thanksgivings were.
Yeah.
So this Thursday, tonight, is the Cowboys against the Saints. The Saints are pretty beat up. I think the Cowboys will take this one.
Okay.
I think they'll take by a touchdown.
So pretty close.
Yeah, it'll be a close game. The Saints aren't horrible. They're 5-6. Cowboys 7-4. So it'll be a close game, but yeah, that's I think the Cowboys will walk away with it. The Saints are pretty banged up, so
Yeehaw.
And
Cowboys.
Yeehaw.
Say it in the most northern possible way.
For those of you who might not know about what this is, it is not just about football. It's about video games and coffee and a little bit of football sprinkled on top for flavor.
And whatever weird stuff happens to come across our minds.
Yeah, right before Thanksgiving, the metaverse happened.
Michaela was listening to that episode, and she was just like, "This is the weird. What were you guys on?" I think she asked me
Monster Energy
why
stuff.
I was making those weird noises and why we kept going back to that dumb joke. And
it was a time. It was fun. It was fun. I laughed at it. I showed my parents and Carly, and they cracked up too.
I laughed. I cried. It moved me, Bob.
VeggieTales.
Yep.
Anyway, let's taste the coffee. So, a little bit of story and a little bit of shade. I was told that we were going to have coffee and that Wes was going to bring it. The person was going to give it to Wes. We got here. I'm like, dude, where's the coffee? He goes, you were supposed to bring it.
Wes was told that it would be given to Josh.
So we had to improvise. And so we got a Rev Afterburner.
K-Cup.
Woohoo, K-Cup. Strong coffee. It's a lightning bolt with wings in case you can't fly good enough with just wings or by lightning.
A lightning bolt.
Now you can streak across the sky with style. So,
full disclosure, we both have had this coffee before. So, I don't know if that's... Have you not had it?
No, I have. Once.
Yeah, so I think the same here. So it's not like completely a blind taste test, but I've never actually drank it like thinking critically about it. So
yeah, let's try it out.
Here goes Afterburner Rev, lightning bolt with wings.
Rev gives you wings.
I remember this. The last time I had it, I remember really, really liking this, especially for K-Cup coffee.
For K-Cup coffee, it's good. It's strong.
Yeah.
It's strong for K-Cup coffee.
Well, it's strong and it's smooth because K-Cup coffee always has. I have the same problem with K-Cup coffee. Oops, sorry, microphone. That I have with Starbucks coffee is that it always tastes just over roasted and
it does.
Burnt. It's either that or it's way too weak. This is really nice and smooth. It does have a little bit of the acidity. What is it? Acidity? Acidity of K-Cup coffee, but not nearly as bad. It's got a nice bold flavor. This is probably my favorite K-Cup coffee I've ever had.
Yeah, I on K-Cups, I'd rank it up there in like 8 or 9 for K-Cup.
Absolutely. An easy 8.
Which, when you rank K-Cup as regular coffee, it's down in the like 5 range.
I'd give it a 6, honestly.
You give it a 6?
Like, my coffee pot at home doesn't brew very good coffee, and this tastes better than most of the coffee I make in my coffee pot. So I'd still give it a solid 6.
There you go. I'll give 5.5. You upped me a half point. There you go.
I'm feeling generous today because it's Christmas time.
Giving out gifts of ratings.
Giving out stars. What is it, beans? We were doing beans for a while, and we stopped doing that.
Yeah, it's a bean scale. It's a bean scale.
We just don't do
a bean scale. But yeah, it's good coffee. It's decent.
Yeah, it's a solid one. So with that out of the way,
I want to know about your Thanksgiving real quick.
Yeah, so this was actually the first year I ever spent Thanksgiving away from my home. Michaela and I drove down with her brother and sister-in-law to see her sister and brother-in-law in Arkansas. So we were in Arkansas for a week. There were 5 children under the age of 10 the whole week long. So it was a madhouse, but it was fun. It was a time. Her nephew loves me. He actually liked me more than her, and she's very upset about that. But he's adorable. He's like, I think he's a year old, like barely a year old. He's adorable. So it was a lot of fun. We got to meet her family, got to hang with them, had deep fried turkey for the first time in my life, which, dude.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
It's so good. So the way they do it is apparently you can get turkey injectors, which is real weird because you basically get a bottle of butter with a hypodermic syringe and you like stick it in the turkey and.
Turkey.
Yes, that's why it's a turkey injector.
I thought like inject turkey straight into your body and you're just like.
What was that? We were talking about that with coffee sometime. Okay, anyway. But no, so they like put a bunch of this Creole butter in the turkey and then they covered the outside with Cajun seasoning and Greek seasoning and deep fried it.
Do you know how to make it?
If I got a deep fryer, I could probably make it happen. I might only scald part of my skin.
I might have you and Aaron team up and make an amazing turkey.
It was really good.
That sounds
awesome. I know the stuff to buy. I mean, you'd have to buy a deep fryer, which
Aaron might have one.
Then we'd have to do it outside in the snow. You talking for Friendsmas?
Yeah, but it sounds great though.
It's so good. It's like the moistest turkey I've ever had. The skin was crispy.
I hate that word. Moist.
Sorry, everybody. I've never had a problem with that word. I've never understood it. But yeah, it was
a moist turkey.
Yeah, it was a really tender. It was just really good. So
that's awesome.
We made 3 14-pound turkeys because we're gonna have like 20 people over, and they had a lot of turkey left over.
Did you bring one back?
No, because we drove for 14 hours and we weren't gonna stick leftovers in the car.
Just stick it on top of the car and it's cold. Well,
no.
I guess coming from where you, I mean,
it was decently cold. It was like it was funny. We were on Thanksgiving. Michaela and I were gonna go take a walk to work off some of the food, and her sister was like, "Oh, don't go outside. It's like bitter cold." I was like, "This is fall for us. What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
but it's like, Arkansas, so it was like 30 degrees, maybe 35, which to them it's bitter cold. To us, I was like, "Oh, this is an average October. This is the fall I never got."
It's like, this is amazing. Like you have summer, fall, and summer. Like that's all you get. That'd be amazing.
I like snow, just a little bit. Just a little bit of snow.
If it snowed for the last 2 weeks of December and went away January 5th.
I could take it a little bit through January, but by February, I'm ready for it to go away.
Yeah. I wish fall lasted all the way through November.
Yeah, that's the thing is we don't get fall. We get like 2 weeks of beautiful weather and then like rain.
Yeah.
And that's when all the leaves come off. It's just like it rains on the leaves and they fall off.
Yeah. Kills them.
Rain.
Well, that sounds like a fun Thanksgiving. Sounds like you guys had a great time.
We really did. I'm glad we made it happen. I'm hopefully we'll be able to make it happen again sometime.
See, we went to see my sisters and their husbands. We went to Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and
with all the pins, Bowling Green.
Bowling. Oh my God, it was a lot of fun though. We went and had a great Thanksgiving dinner with them, and I woke up on Sunday morning, went to church, as you do.
As one does.
And just, having a good time, which they did. It's called a movie night. So what they do is they show Moana and they take clips from Moana and then the pastor will explain how it can relate to the Bible. It's actually really, really cool. And so it was a great time watching that and seeing how that correlated. And then I met a buddy of my brother-in-law's and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "I've heard a lot about you." I said, "Same here." And he goes, "Yeah, want to go up in my plane?" And I was like, "For real?" And his wife is from Germany. And she's like, "Yeah, go. He'd love to take you. It'd be a blast." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let me, check with my wife and make sure I have time before I come back to South Bend." And so she's like, "Yeah, go for it." So I'm like, "Okay." So next, like within an hour, I found myself on the tarmac of an airport walking to a plane.
Wow.
So we get in this dude's plane. And he's in the pilot seat, I'm co-pilot, and Derek's in the back. And so there's no tower at this airport. It's a very small one runway airport, no tower. So you just kind of communicate and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take off. Please don't land on top." And people are like, "Okay, cool, sounds great." And then you fly off. So we go flying, and there's a lake about 50 minutes. We got there in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
We're fine. And so we're flying over this big old lake. It has a river winding through it. And he's like, do you get sick? And I was like, of course not. I love roller coasters. He's like, bet.
Oh, no.
We nosedive. We go down. We're less than 200 feet from the ground. And we're flying through all of the winding of the river. And you see fishermen like looking. I can see their expression on their face. We're that close. Like, I'm just waving.
Wow.
I look out to the left and right, and I see trees that are higher up than our plane. Like, it was amazing. And so he's like, dude, no one ever is cool to fly this low with me. And me and Derek are like, yeah, like let's do it. This is amazing. So he was about to land too at like one of the spots on the river, and but it was just a little too wet because we're gonna get out and walk around.
So it was a hydroplane.
No. So the river was really low, and there was some like dry riverbed areas.
Oh, wow.
But they weren't quite long enough.
Yeah.
You know, and he didn't want to get stuck. So I'm egging him on to do it because that's what I do. I'm like, I don't care. It's not my plane. Land it. Let's go.
It's not my plane.
So, but no, we took back off, and then he looked at me, goes, you ever fly? And I'm like, no. And so he's like, well, go for it. So I flew for like 30 minutes. I got to fly this plane, steer it all around.
That's terrifying.
Go up, go down, all the things. It was fun. So,
wow.
Yeah, we were only up there for about an hour, but it was a blast.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I woke up, and next thing I know, I'm in a plane, flying. Never flew a plane before.
Sounds like you got kidnapped by a pilot.
It was great.
I woke up, and the next thing I knew, I was in a plane.
Hey,
it was tied up in the back.
Me to fly a plane at any point, I will do it. No promises that we'll live, but I'll do my best.
Why would you kidnap someone to fly your plane for you?
Hey, I don't know, but he did. It was great. And so he said that maybe next time we go up, we could go do it's like called a pumpkin drop. So they'll like set up targets on the ground, and people will fly their planes and drop pumpkins out. It's like it's an event. And
okay, that's really fun. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, you try to hit the target with a pumpkin. That'd be a lot of fun. So he's a really cool dude. His name's Zach. Me and him hit off pretty good, and Derek's like introduced us and everything. And yeah, he's a great guy. Great
cool.
Guy. Owns his own plane and everything. I was like, man,
wow,
so cool. But yeah, that was my Thanksgiving. So I had a blast.
Awesome. That sounds really cool.
Learned to fly a plane. Not completely. I know how to go up, to go down, and to left and rights and all that things.
My arm is popping really weirdly, and ow, okay. For those of you listening on audio, I was just flapping my arm, and all of a sudden my shoulder started popping, and I'm like, oh, I guess I should probably stop that now.
Well, enough about our Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Let us know how your guys' was down in the comments below, but let's go on to the rest of the week.
Yes, so I'm done being charitable. Actually, no, this headline made me so happy. I didn't realize I needed this in my life. So when I look for the roast of the week, I usually just Google gaming news, and I pick like one of the things that pops up. And Kotaku has an article, and the headline is Call of Duty Vanguard player headshots opponents with Donkey Kong bongos. So Twitch streamer Dino Bino is famous for playing Call of Duty games. He's like a professional COD streamer. Like he's an amazing player, but he's famous for playing COD games with non-traditional controllers, and he is playing Vanguard. He streamed himself playing Vanguard with the bongo controllers from Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. So for those of you unaware, back in like 2000, I don't know, it would have been like 2005, maybe 2006, Nintendo released a game called Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, and it was a Donkey Kong platformer that you played with bongos. You had a left bongo and a right bongo, and you used them to move it left and right and jump and everything. It's very limited, but they're really cool controllers. They're still some of my favorites. What Dino Bino has done is he has mapped the controls of Vanguard to different like combinations. So like hitting the bongos at the same time, like 2 hits on the right, 2 hits on the left. He has, so he remapped the buttons, he toggles between different commands. So he can use the scope, shoot, crouch, slide, and even emote like players using more traditional controllers. But he's like headshotting people. He's headshotting people with these bongos. So the roast is for those players who have no idea that they just got owned by a player using a little plastic set of bongos. And if you watch this stream, it looks like he's using a regular controller. He's an incredible player. Like this is just, it's insane. We need to link the article in the description. But watching him play with these bongos is just incredible. And these poor saps that are just getting absolutely wrecked by this guy playing with bongos.
I have a challenge for this guy now. Can he play the bongos, like use the bongos to play the game win a game of Warzone. Is that what he's doing?
He's playing Vanguard.
Oh, Vanguard. Well, that would translate to Warzone.
Yeah, he can probably use the same mapping.
But yeah, if I want him to win a game of Warzone while playing the bongos and making it into a song. So he has to hit the certain beats of the bongos to make a song.
I don't know about that.
That would be mind-blowing.
Although apparently he played Call of Duty, he played Black Ops Cold War with a recorder. Like the little flute thing.
Really?
Which I'm looking at the stream now to see how on earth he did that. I don't know how. Oh, it's not going to load. Yeah, look. He's playing with a recorder. I'm not entirely sure how he did that, but yeah. So this guy,
is that legit? Like, do you know if it's a real or is someone playing?
No, okay. There's no way to know if it's legit, but we live in the age of the internet. There's no way to know if anything is legit. I just like to believe.
Are we legit?
X-Files theme. Why is John Cena your go-to?
Why is he not yours?
That's a fair point. That is a fair question. So anyway, Call of Duty players playing against Dino Bino, get good. Because I would definitely be one of the people getting wrecked by a dude playing the DK Bongos. But, what a world we live in. The human race is magical. We accomplish so many things.
Like bongos.
Oh no, what? No, Kotaku, stop. There's an article here that says this metaverse mega yacht NFT makes me want to die. I don't want to click on it. It's going to make me angry. NFTs and the metaverse put together. No.
I mean, hey, look here. Okay. Here's the deal. My wife made a really cool looking pixelated fish. And she's going to sell it on the metaverse. And you can use it in your little game. So if it makes money.
If it makes you okay, but you're selling it for a reasonable
amount. Actually, I might sell it for about $100 for the little fishy.
That's
because
still
everything
somewhat
else,
reasonable.
Like, there was a lifeguard tower that someone created, and it's $1,400.
Yeah, I think this yacht was like $480,000.
Yeah, so
I opened the article and then immediately closed it, and I can't load it back up
there's
again.
There's a character that was created. It's like the legendary chef, and it's legendary because the person decided to make it legendary. And then it only, it costs $14,000. 2 of them out of the 3 made are sold. It's like, who is buying $14,000 chef pixelated guy that can run on your world?
The same people who bought the $100,000 Xbox.
Well, then they better buy my dang fish.
Yeah, $650,000 for this yacht and it's in the sandbox. It's in the sandbox virtual world. A giant virtual yacht just sold on a video game for $650 in real money. So roast of the week this week is actually not the bongo guy.
$650K. You could buy a real yacht.
You actually probably could.
It's like, I'm gonna take the fake yacht and you buy it. Now I'm gonna go buy a real yacht. And there you go. Maybe he's playing on his yacht the game where he now has another yacht that he's playing on that game yacht and playing a game that he bought in the game on the yacht.
I'm a yacht playing a yacht who's playing another yacht.
Boat simulator.
That's all I could get what you were saying. I completely lost focus halfway through that. All I could think was, I'm a dude playing another dude.
That's pretty much what's happening.
Oh my.
But no, it's really cool though, because you can create art, and then if you sell it, you can put the 10% from every sale from that point on. So if I sold you something for $100, I would say whatever you sell it for, I get 10%.
Yeah.
So then you sell it for $100. Well, I get $10, and then that person sells it for $100. Well, then I get another $10.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, this is like, I feel like NFTs are just a way of life now, and I don't understand it. I don't understand how this is the way money works.
Come on, Grandpa, get with it.
It doesn't make sense. This is not the way money is supposed to work.
But why not make money with it until it blows up? Because if you don't got to put money in, if you just got to put in effort and work to make a really good looking art piece.
That's how products work, Josh. That's how like DeviantArt works when you like make a commission. That's normal. What's not normal is spending $650,000 on a digital yacht.
But if someone took a lot of time to create that digital yacht, you're paying them for their time.
I got to figure out how to make this happen because, I will make time.
Dude, I'll show you how to do it. I already looked into it. Like I said, my wife already made a fish. Really cool looking fish. Although she accidentally, she made the tail in the body. So we're trying to figure out how to get the tail out of the body to make it actually like
got to perform surgery on this fish.
I gotta go buy a someone who made a scalpel. I gotta go find that and buy the scalpel.
Buy the scalpel to do surgery on the digital fish.
Digital scalpel for
it would cost just as much as real life surgery.
Hey, you never know.
Okay.
So is that was it?
That was a weird. Yeah, we kind of got off topic there.
Hey, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We can do anything we want on this podcast. I love how ads for things that I've already looked up, like today, are now showing up on my computer. It's like, hey, I know you looked for air filters. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sorry, that's a whole nother thing.
Leave me alone, Mark Zuckerberg.
Leave me alone. I want to talk about Battlefield first.
Yep.
So now we're getting into games for everyone that actually
sorry guys.
Games. This is the game part of the show where we get together and talk about games.
It should be the whole show, but instead it's become like the last 30%.
But hey,
usually.
you know,
we've been so off topic the last like 3 episodes.
It's crazy time. It is the season, okay?
Tis the season to be crazy.
Oh my.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, Battlefield. Oh boy.
I want to give my impression of it first, and then you can read.
And then I'm going to represent the internet.
That's a scary thing to do.
Newsflash, it's not going to be pretty.
I'm in love with Battlefield 5.
You mean 2042?
2042. Oh my gosh. Brain.
Battlefield 5 is the different game.
It is, and I don't like that one. Anyway, Battlefield 2042, if I can get the name right, is amazing in its own right. So the normal Battlefield playing is what it's Battlefield. Okay, so I went and I hopped in an elevator, saw a gun laying on the elevator, went, that's interesting, and I hit the button to go up, and I found out why a gun is on the elevator. It glitched. So it represented you falling the length of the elevator. And so my guy goes ragdoll and then like blows up and dies. And then now there's 2 guns laying on the elevator floor. It was a death trap.
2 little guns just sitting on the floor. One blew up and dead.
And dead. Exactly. However, there are some Battlefield moments in it that are good. Like I went up the elevator, opened the door. My guy goes, it's a tank. And there was a tank looking at the elevator door on the top of a building. And just went, and everyone inside the elevator evaporated. So there are those moments. There's the cool mode that I really like it, where you got to get the digital hard drives.
Hazard Zone.
Yeah, Hazard Zone. You got to extract and all that stuff. That's a lot of fun. It's difficult. You have to buy the weapons, not with real money, but with in-game currency. You buy these weapons. If you don't want to buy anything, you start with just everyone has the normal like machine gun that you start with.
Yeah.
Or assault rifle. So you go in, if you win, you get points. You kill things, you get points. And you can use those points to buy better weapons, better perks, things like that. So that's fun. That's a lot of fun. It's difficult because they don't have an in-game talking system.
Yeah.
Which is bull crap.
That's one of the internet's things.
How do you launch a game about the future in our present and not have an in-game chat? It blows my mind.
That is very strange.
So you have to be able to communicate, but we can't because we don't know the people. So unless you have a squad of people on the same system that are in a party, it's a pretty much impossible game to play. The game mode anyway.
Cool.
So that is a huge damper on it. But where the game does shine is in Portal. And the reason it shines in Portal is because it allows us to create what we want. So one of the modes I got in, it was an Escape from Tarkov type of game mode.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hop in, there's no HUD, no anything. Like it looks like I'm just holding a gun. Like there's no view of anything. And I'm like, there's supposed to be 30 people in this world and I don't see anybody. I just see a bird flying, it's raining. I'm like, okay. So I start making my way through jungle. I hear a gunshot and I see some birds fly. I'm like, oh crap. And I'm like looking around. I don't see anything. And then I look up and I see a little glint of a lens flare on the water tower. So I hit the deck and I look up and someone shoots up at him. He's shooting back. I aim at him and I shoot and he doesn't move. I shoot again. He doesn't move. I shoot a third time. He doesn't move. I'm like, what in the world? How am I not hitting it? It looks like I'm hitting him. I end up getting killed. I look at my deal. I have a kill. It doesn't do like the hit marker, so you don't even know. It just it's like real life in that aspect. And I was like,
wow,
that's a really cool concept. So I started looking for more games like that, and I found one, and it was titled Afghan War Realism. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I get in it, same deal, no HUD, all that stuff, and it's in one of the desert maps, and people are having all-out warfare, and I mean, it is very realistic in the way that it looks. It looks so good.
So they changed the graphics?
From what I was playing, I played on the Xbox Series X. It looked amazing. You could see the footprints in the sand.
Sheesh.
You saw the tire tracks had depth to them, where the Humvees were going over and everything. And I was like, this is really cool. This is insane. But I was still lacking the iconic, what I call iconic Battlefield moment. And if any of you have played Battlefield and had one of those moments, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so I had one in this map, though. I'd been playing for about 10, 15 minutes, and someone typed, because you can type in chat.
Yeah.
Someone typed, and I saw in the top left-hand corner, go back to the spawn point. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I died, and I went back to the spawn point. There were 4 Humvees, and people were in them in the driver's seat. And they spawned in like 2 more. There's 6 Humvees, and they said they were typing like, load up, get everybody in the Humvees. We all loaded up. I had my LMG. I load up in the Humvee, and then they typed roll out. And there was a Humvee in front of me. I was behind. I was in the second one, and there were 3 behind that. And so we start rolling towards point B. So we're riding for maybe 30 seconds or whatever. We come up over one of these sand dunes and start going down, and you see a bunch of like because we're the American forces, a bunch of these terrorist forces just kind of stand up from behind some of these rocks. And I was like, oh shoot. And I see a missile just, it hit the Humvee in front of me. The thing blows up and flips off to the side. So my driver whips around and starts swinging around. We start trying to make our way through these rocks. You see all these rockets flying. A Humvee behind me explodes. And so I jump out of the Humvee with my LMG, and I lay down, pop out the tripod or a bipod, and I just start laying down fire. I take out like 6 or 7 of them. One of them goes to aim at the Humvee. I shoot him before he shoots his rocket. Sheesh. And then I get shot and I die. But it was just one of those moments where you're just in the front. I'm in the front seat of this Humvee, and I see all of the buddies in the front Humvee just get obliterated. Yikes. So my guy has to go off route and go to a different one. We ended up taking all the points we needed to and win the game.
Wow.
But it was one of those moments where it was just like, in that moment, it just felt so crazy, hectic, but also everyone worked together for a change, and it worked out. You know what I mean?
Which that's always the difficulty with FPS games, is you can never get people to work together.
Right. And in this instance, we did, and it worked, and it was amazing, and it was coordinated, and it was just, it was one of those Battlefield moments where you were like, this feels like I'm a part of something that actually is enjoyable. This is what the trailers show, and I'm in a trailer right now, and that was fun. And so Portal makes the game fun. It makes the game worth playing, and I think that the creativity and the amount of just replayability that Portal brings to Battlefield is the best thing they could have ever done. Mm-hmm. So I think that if you're going into it and you're like, well, I just want to play regular campaign, stuff like that, I like Battlefield 3 and 4 better, to be honest.
Really?
I do. If you're going into it and you're like, you know what, I want a realistic experience, I want to try as much as you can get really on console. There's some that are on PC that are way better. But on console, if you want the most realistic experience, I would say go to Portal, find a milsim that someone has created that is like that, and you'll have a blast. Like I said, I mean, they did a recreation of World War II, and all of these American forces were all pushing the Germans back and going up and over down into this creek, and people are just getting blasted left and right, and you're just trying to survive, and it's fun. Like, yeah. So that's why I like the game.
It's so weird describing real life battles as fun. Like, it's the invasion of Normandy Beach. People are dying left and right. It's real fun.
It's like amazing. What? From sitting in my gaming chair with some Doritos, it's fun. Yeah. It's seeing everyone mobilize. Like when I died and it zoomed out, you just saw all like 100 people. Not 100. I think it's like 60 and 60 or something like that.
I think it's 128 player matches. So it'd be like 64.
Yeah. So you're seeing all 64 people with a tank and a plane flying. They're all just pushing up, and you see a front line trying to keep them back. It's a blast. And they set the respawn point to like 45 seconds. So if you die, you don't get to just respawn and keep fighting. I mean, if you wear out, like say you have a group of 15 people and you wipe them out, it's not like they'll just respawn. You have to keep fighting. It's like, okay, we get a second, restock, resupply, get your stuff, and wait for them to come back over the hill. So people can make it whatever they want. You can make it to where you only have one life. I mean, people are going to find ways to make it so creative with this portal that I think that as time goes on, it's going to be amazing. Sadly, we live in an era when a game releases like this, that it doesn't release complete. And I get that. And I'm okay with that. I understand that. I would still suggest people get it solely for the portal mode because to me, it's worth that.
And now I'm going to do my impersonation of the internet right now regarding Battlefield.
Oh, joy.
RIP headphone users. Like, oh boy.
Don't do that when I have a mouthful of liquids.
I think I just clipped my audio. Yeah, sorry, headphone users. I just really clipped my audio.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, so, okay.
You almost clipped mine.
Sorry. Whew, gotta warm up those lungs. Okay, actually, to be fair, it's weird. Most of the actual critic reviews are like middling to positive, but it's user reviews that are just bombing. So your impressions seem pretty similar to this IGN review I found. She said that...
And I have not looked at any reviews, by the way, just...
So it's interesting you mentioned that Portal was your favorite part, because she says here, it feels like the main game is kind of half-baked. She feels like the maps are too large. She was just like running for a lot of the time with like empty space. And the specialist, one of the biggest complaints that I've seen from both critics and users is that the specialists replacing the class system kind of removes the point of having a class system, since the specialists are kind of jack of all trades. They can do whatever they want.
I would agree with that.
So they're saying that that's kind of dumb. The hazard zone is a little bit better, but not the greatest. But yeah, they're really saying that Portal is the reason to buy this game. There's just so much creativity to it. This IGN review is super long. It's really good. It's really, really in-depth, so we'll link it in the description. It's worth a read. But essentially, that's what she says, is Portal is where it really shines, where the users can get a hold of it. PC Gamer, it has a little bit of a shorter one. He's just talking about how all of the reviews are negative on Steam, even though he's having a great time. However, the most popular review, or the most helpful review on Steam currently, is a copy-paste of a popular Reddit post that lists 94 things that have been removed from previous Battlefields. And it goes from such as standard server, like there's no standard server browser, there's fewer standardized game modes, no spectator mode, no voice chat like you mentioned before, but it goes so nitpicky as no swelling crescendo of dramatic music near the end of a match, static noise does not count. So people are really, really, really nitpicking this game.
See, I was kind of bummed about that though. I did think it was nitpicky. I didn't think it was worth mentioning. But in some of the other games, like when that music amps up and you're like, either we're about to win or, oh crap, it's over. You know, there wasn't any of that. It just ends and you're like, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
So it feels like a lot of people feel like this is a downgrade from previous Battlefields because they've removed so much. And like I said, this is so nitpicky. It's like fewer infantry gadgets, no manual leaning, no diving while swimming, no high wall vaulting, no crouch sprinting, no backwards prone, no explosion, knockback. Like these are like an incredible list of things that I didn't even think I would notice. So it does seem like DICE has removed a lot of stuff that people like, but...
Sorry, my mic was messed up. The thing I did miss was the no leaning, no manual leaning, because so many times I'd go to a wall and want to like just kind of peek out and like kind of lean around, and you can't. And that was one thing that I was really frustrated with, and the no like blowback from the explosions is a bummer, because that was one thing I noticed when I'm like, I'm on the highway and the Jeep in front of me Humvee blows up. They didn't fly out and and I was kind of like, but also, it was cool because it exploded.
So it feels like a lot of people feel like they're paying for a downgrade in a lot of ways. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what its current user rating on Metacritic is.
3 guesses?
3 guesses.
What's Metacritic's 1 through 10?
Metacritic 5? Is I think for user reviews it's 1 to 10. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's below 5, so I have a really good chance of hitting this. I'm gonna say 3.
Lower.
2.3.
Exactly. Actually, 2.3. It has a 2.3 user score, but a 70 critic score. So there's a big disparity between people playing the game and people being paid to play the game.
Well, because think about it this way: if you're forced to play the game and give a review on it, you'll give a decent review. If you play the game and you like the game, you're most likely not going to go leave a review. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you hate the game, then you're going to go express how ticked off you are that you spent $70 on this crap game type deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Usually when you look at reviews, if someone has a 4 to 5 star review rating, that usually means you can count on it because people that truly do like it, there's more people going to review it than that hate it. And that's rare. Most of the time you review something when you're ticked off.
So that does make sense. There's just so many people that are saying it's half finished. Bugs, awful design, gameplay decisions, so little left of what made earlier Battlefield games great. The devs are so out of touch with what the Battlefield community wants. DICE have totally lost their way. So I'm far from an FPS connoisseur. Like if I had this game, I'd probably like it too. But it's just, I think what's so fascinating to me is the divide. Like there's only 239 positive reviews on Metacritic and there are 1,803 negative.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
But you're saying that most of the people that liked it didn't go bother to write a review because they're like, I like the game.
And anytime I hop into a game on there, there's a full server, usually almost full. Now, not necessarily like, because I know like, well, there could be bots. I get that, but real actual players. And so obviously enough people are playing it that I don't have any trouble finding people to play with.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do agree with it being half-baked. And that's why I think Portal is going to be the main. I've barely touched the whole quick play or conquest or what. I've always played the Hazard Zone or I've played Portal. Those are my modes I play. I don't play the normal game. I don't want to play the normal game. I wish they would have made Portal, Hazard Zone, and then created a campaign rather than the multi. Personally, that's what I would have enjoyed. It's sad because the trailers for it and everything, the story they're trying to tell is so interesting and exciting, but it's not being told. In my opinion, it doesn't feel like it's being told.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer. And that's why I like campaigns.
We were talking about that, though, it seems like it's going to be like an Overwatch thing. Like all of the content, story-wise, is going to be online, and the game itself doesn't really have anything to do with it.
Right, but
it is frustrating, though.
Just, you don't feel like you're a no-pat, in my opinion. It feels like you're just in a hodgepodge of people playing. That's why when I joined that Afghanistan realism milsim server, I was able to create my own campaign very easily from that. I'm like, okay, I'm a soldier in the American military going to fight, and take back like whatever they were whatever they were doing. It was easy. They had the US Humvees in there and they had the right weapon for the time. Like it was really in depth. Like it was really impressive. And so that's why I think that, I agree with everyone that's wrote a negative review. I also agree with the critics that say, no, it's good. Like Portal brings it up. The community is making, it's almost like the devs went, we don't know what you want, so we're going to throw a mode in there so you can make what you want. And it's like, okay, thank you.
Which does feel a little lazy.
It does. It's like I'm paying you so that I can make the game that I want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm paying you for a dev kit, essentially.
Right. Which it goes into, me and Derek tried to hop on and look at it, and oh my gosh, you have to know some coding to really make it great.
I'm sure.
It gets really in depth. But after it's been out for about a year, there's going to be amazing games, and I'd like to see. Again, it's sad that you have to do this. It's not like the games of old where when it releases, you give it a score on Metacritic or whatever, and that's what the score is. Now it's like you give it a review, and you do a year later review, you do a 2 year later review, and you hope it goes up.
Right.
That shouldn't be how it is. It should be 10s across the board when it first comes out, and it doesn't dip. And everything they do on top of that is above and beyond what they could have done.
Uh-huh.
And that's not how it is. So that does suck. I mean, it's standing on the legs of Portal. Even Hazard Zone has a lot of things that I don't like about it. That's in one of the places where I fell down the elevator shaft. But I even fall, like the elevator took me up. I just died from fall damage.
That's dumb.
And in that mode, you don't respawn right away. And so that was frustrating.
Yeah.
So Portal is what holds it up. And Portal is what makes it fun. So if you could buy just the Portal version for like $20.
See, that actually would be an interesting business decision to like split it to make it like modular, kind of like what Halo's doing a little bit with the free-to-play multiplayer and then the separate campaign.
But see, they couldn't do that because no one would buy the other two parts. They'd only buy the Portal part. You know, so they can't.
But then that shows that they probably know, well, maybe they don't. It kind of seems like they know the weakness of the other parts and how it's a little half-baked.
They got to know. They got to understand that they didn't do its due diligence. I mean, it looks, again, on the Series X, looks amazing. You can see the tire tracks. You can see... Now, I will say at one point, for whatever reason, the resolution dropped horribly, and it looked like I was playing a PlayStation 2 game for the terrain. Like, the sand was just a flat slope up, like someone just took the tan color and applied it to the thing. I was like, what the heck? And Derek's like, what happened to the graphics? And I'm like, I don't know. I had to exit and re-hop in, and then it was all back to normal. But when you have the wind blow across the sand and you see it move, like, to me, that's amazing. Yeah. And so there are those times in it, but I don't know. I agree with a lot of what people are saying online, but
I think I hurt my voice doing that stupid screech. Now that I'm feeling it. Which
well,
is
your
great.
Voice, our ears.
I'm not sorry. It was fun.
But I mean, like I said, it'll eventually go up. I hope they do it.
We'll have to see. I mean, those of you marking out your bingo card, here's No Man's Sky. We mention it like every week, but it's just like the best example of a game redeeming itself. For those people that were into, like, there's not a lot of people that are still into No Man's Sky. I think a lot of people dropped it after the debacle that it was, but it has come back. So
yeah, it's been honestly amazing, and he does it all for free. That's the thing. It's like, how is Sean Murray doing this? I don't know.
So anyway, that's Battlefield. That's all of what I had pulled up. Oof.
Well, it's up to you if you want to go into Elden Ring or you want to save that for...
We can talk a little bit, mainly because all I was able to do was watch a little bit of the trailer. So I don't have a ton to discuss other than the fact that it looks gorgeous.
Elden Ring looks amazing. I watched some gameplay on it from the demo, and it's...
Oh yeah, it wasn't the trailer. It was a gameplay. It was a gameplay demo.
Yeah, So I was watching, and he walks out, and he has almost that Welcome to Skyrim moment where you walk out of the... And it's like, just like... Whoa, and like you look around and see the tree, and that's just a portion of the map too.
Yeah, it looks insane. I saw a shot of the map. It looks insane. It really. So it's interesting to see open world gameplay mixed with Dark Souls, which is essentially what Elden Ring is. It's from Software, so it's going to be Dark Souls. Did From make I almost said Shakira. Sekiro Shadows.
Yeah, Shakira.
What is it? I get mixed up because I was listening to a podcast called R3 Cents, and when Sekiro came out, they kept calling it Shakira Hips Lie Twice. It's Shadows Die Twice, isn't it? I'm going to look this up. Yes, it's Shadows Die Twice.
Yep, From Software.
That's From Software.
Sekiro.
Okay, so they were saying it's like Dark Souls. So that's just kind of their gameplay style, is that like tough but fair. So it looks interesting to see Dark Souls done in an open world style. I have never played a Dark Souls game. I have never really wanted to play a Dark Souls game simply because I dislike that sort of like super hard gameplay. It's just never been my thing. But this does look interesting if you are a Dark Souls fan.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it. I'm not gonna give a crap about the story. I'm gonna go and try to beeline it for the biggest castle I can find, and I'm gonna die, get frustrated, and probably never finish the game. That's gonna be how I play it.
Wow,
because that's the game. It's a world that I want to jump into, but I don't want to necessarily figure out, if that makes sense.
See, this is why you can play these games and I can't, because if I were to pick this up, I would not be able to put it down until I finished the story, and I would not get any of my other backlog games done. But because I'm that, when it comes to story, I'm that way. I gotta finish it. Like, I just picked up Guardians of the Galaxy because Black Friday was like 50% off. I got it for $27. Super excited. But I really want to finish Final Fantasy before I jump into Guardians.
See, for me, it depends. So if the story, like Skyrim, I replayed that game 4 or 5 times. I mean,
wow.
I went through it as I was like, okay, I take this part in the war, I took this side, and the next time, and I became the Dragonborn and did the whole spiel with the whole dragon thing. Then I went a different route and I divvied up all the land. I was very much a political guy and decided who got what and everything like that. And I was in all the meetings and everything. It was great. The third time I decided to build a house and I was just a hunter and I upgraded my bow skills to level 100. I hit a bunny mid-jump with a bow and arrow from I don't know how far away. Like, it was amazing. And I had like a home and I adopted a little girl that for the first 2 playthroughs I tried to adopt, and I'd be like, hey, you know, what's up? And she's like, you want to adopt me? I said, I'd love to adopt you. And she goes, really? And then it only gave me the option of, sorry, I don't have a home. And I was like, dang it. So then I built the home and I went back and I tried to, and it's like, sorry, I can't right now. And it took me forever to find out how I could adopt her. And I finally did it because I made it my mission to adopt her, because I had told her for 3 playthroughs, 3 campaigns, sorry, I can't. I broke her heart. I don't know how many times, because she'd be like, that's okay, mister. Nobody really wants me anyway. And would walk away.
Wow.
And it broke my heart. So I finally adopted her and it was amazing. And so that's what I did on my 3rd playthrough. My 4th playthrough, I just decided I wanted to kill everyone. Found a satanic mace. And I was like, I wonder how good this is. And hit someone over the head and it decapitated them. And it rolled down the street. So I didn't mean...
Wow.
I didn't mean...
Skyrim brings out the best and the worst of people.
I went into a building and I heard a weird noise. I'm like, what the heck? And I saw a little wind blow from under a bookshelf. So I moved the bookshelf over, went downstairs, and there was an altar. And I was like, And there was a guy in a cage. And he was like, please, mister, let me out. And the voice said, if I sacrifice, I get really cool things. And I was like, when in Skyrim. And so the man in the cage he didn't make it out.
It was a very unfortunate circumstance
for that guy.
We offer our condolences to his family, but I have cool stuff now.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to do the same thing. So I don't feel too bad. He wasn't like a good guy. But then, yeah, I got the satanic
Just because
mace.
you are a bad guy does not mean you are a bad guy. Sorry, Wreck-It Ralph.
But I got the satanic mace, went up, and I was like, I don't know what it does. First person to walk by, boom. And the head rolled, and the guards freaked out because, you know, as they do, when you see a head rolling down the street. And, yeah.
So Elden Ring.
Sorry, yeah, Elden Ring. Sorry, Scott. My whole point of all of that was if the story grabs me, then I'm in.
Gotcha.
So that's just something that Skyrim was able to do. So if Elden Ring, if I hopped in and got really drawn into that story, I'd be down.
Gotcha. But you're not gonna play through it just because it has a story.
Right. It would have to, like I said, it has to be a good story. So otherwise, I just run through, do my thing, and I'm done. Just like Outer Worlds. That had a really good story to it from what I've heard. People liked it. Me, I hopped in, skipped through some of the cutscenes, tried to kill everyone because they said, you can kill everyone in this game and it will work out. And I'm like, I'll put it to a test. And walked up to a guy and he's like, one of the highest seat on the council. Boom. He died. And over half of my quests went gray because I could no longer do them. And it beelined the end game for me. It was amazing.
I beat it in an hour.
It was like just streamlined it. And I was able to, it closed off a bar. I walked up because this girl's like, you need to buy me a drink. Went back and opened the door. I'm like, okay, I'll buy you a drink. And everyone pulled out guns and I had to destroy an entire colony. But I didn't care about the story.
Are you sure that you should be playing games?
Look, they drew their weapons on me, okay?
Okay. Did they have a good reason to?
Their leader might have been the guy that I killed, but you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that this was just a random occurrence.
I just wanted a drink.
And mass murder.
No, they made me into who I was. But look, I like stories.
Yeah,
that are very good. I'll play through a game if it has fun animations, like Outer Worlds had a great, like I love the killing anybody. It'll work out. I love putting games to the test like that. With this game, I'll go in and try to find the biggest, baddest guy and see if I can kill him. I won't be able to.
Well, I was going to say, I think with Dark Souls, you have to level up. So that's kind of going against the design of the game.
But that's what I like.
You like circumnavigating what the people want you to do.
Yep.
That makes sense.
So,
Sounds on brand for you.
So that's what I would try and do. But you're right. You would spend years on that game.
I spent 2 on Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. See, that's another game. I couldn't get into it. I could not get into the past, but also it being future. I didn't like my head thing.
What?
Space.
Oh, because 100 years. Because Link is asleep for 100 years. Got it.
Like, I don't know. Yeah,
I was like, past in the future. Like, it's not Link to the Past, which ironically does not have any time travel in it.
Right.
I don't understand
that. It's kind of similar to, what's that other game? The chick that has a bow and arrow. And
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, so similar to that.
Horizon Zero Dawn reminded me a lot of Breath of the Wild
right.
what little I played
and
of
I
it.
didn't like that one either.
Well, there you go.
And it was just the robotic dinosaurs.
They're robotic animals, but yes.
But they're dinosaurs.
Oh, wait, so that's what you mean by past of the fact that it's a post-apocalypse and humanity has gone back to like tribalistic.
Right.
See,
but
Breath
then
of the Wild
fighting robots.
Breath of the Wild wasn't really like that to me, but I get that with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right. It just have dinosaurs. They could have made a really good Stone Age game.
I wouldn't have bought it if it had real dinosaurs.
I would.
I'm just going to tell you that right now. I would. I love the not cyberpunk aesthetic, but like the futuristic sort of thing.
Yeah. So just the mix of that just didn't vibe with me. But that's why it takes so many different people playing so many different games, and there's so many different genres because. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Usually I have to sneeze 3 times. So.
But that's just what video games are, man. From all walks of life, everyone can relate to some type of video game, even if it's Pong or Tetris, or whatever. Someone somewhere likes a video game. You know, it just, I don't know. It's fun, and so that's what video games. That's why I think they're so cool.
So in conclusion, don't kill somebody because they like Battlefield 2042 or don't like it. Because
exactly,
we all relate to different things,
different strokes, different folks. Man, I mean that's just how it is.
Yep.
So.
That got kind of wholesome.
Yeah,
I think
it's a great ending.
Yeah,
I can hear the music going right now that you implemented here. So.
Oh, I gotta find some music.
I'm at the I've
got to do some Christmas music.
Christmas theme. Well, maybe it started now. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. He edits it. We'll find out.
Ding dong, ding. It's just this. Ding dong, ding.
Hey, I better be now. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in to the Gamers Roast podcast. I'm your host Joshua J. Wesley Lance. Hope you guys.
Are we opening? Sorry.
No, I'm closing it.
It sounded like you were opening another episode. I was like, what?
We will close and bow our heads in prayer. No, we hope you guys play lots of video games, drink lots of coffee, watch lots of football. Until next time, see you guys later.
Bye-bye.